Alright guys, what I've decided to do is to take all of the beefed up parts of my small sled and I'm going to put them on to my large sled. I just went to Missoula and had a training weekend with my buddy for Denali 2019, and the little sled did great, but the amount of weight it can carry and how easy it tips with more weight in it, I definitely think I need to go to the larger sled. So I got a little bit ahead of myself and got a few things off of here before I really started the video. So these pieces of PVC, they roll underneath the edges, give it great stability, and then they're attached with these eye bolts, eye screws, and I had actually beefed up in there with some of these panhead screws to kind of just hold that PVC in there a lot better. As you can see, that's where my brake would be attached through grommets. I do have my grommets that I'll be putting into the big sled. So I'll keep you updated as I go. So now I'm going to remove these runners off of there. I think I'm probably going to end up with the runners and with the reinforcement PVC. I'm probably going to be cutting it into chunks to make it fit better and put it in the right spots. But now I'm going to remove these runners. Okay, got all the runners off. I've got all the PVC pieces off, and I've got the brake stuff off. And I didn't show you how I had that attached, so I'll show you how I attach it when we go to put on the next one. Because of the makeup of this sled, the edges, I'm not going to be able to run these continuously down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some measuring, and I'm going to get the maximum that I can for the space that I can actually mount something, and get it mounted up. So I've got the reinforcement PVC mounted in the right spots. I went ahead and put in a panhead screw on each front and back of the piece as well. Now it's time to put the runners back on, and I think what my intention is going to be is I think I'm going to cut them, put a section here, and then put a section back here where the load will be sitting fairly heavily. That'll keep those in the ground. Alright, I've got the runners mounted. This does have the edge. I'm going to do that same thing with this. I'm going to take that edge down a little bit, and then I'm going to go through the bottom with one more screw just to hold that tight. I got the runners mounted, and then I went ahead and took a Dremel, filed down the front end, and then I went ahead and put a panhead right in the tip just to give it a little bit more stability. So now it's time to mount the brake, and what's going to happen is something about like this is going to be mounted. I'm going to use these pound-in grommets, kind of like what I've got over there, and what will allow that to do is it'll be able to go out as I go forward, but then when I stop and it goes downhill, this will come back in and catch. But of course, will be cut down. It doesn't need to be that long, but here's the idea. I'll show you as I go. So the way these grommets work is you drill your hole, you push them through, and then you would take the other piece and you put it over, and then when you do the pounding on it, this lip right here folds out. This doesn't go out far enough for that lip to fold out, so what I'm doing is I'm actually going in with a little knife and just doing a little bit of a waller out. Now when I put that piece in. Now, as you can see, there's enough sticking out so that when I place this piece over that, there will be enough that it will be able to bend over. Alright, so I've got grommets in, ropes tied. The idea is that as I pull the sled forward, this can straighten out, and then if I stop, that catches the snow, hangs down about 2 inches below the bottom of the sled. Okay. There you go. So on the Pulk sled, there was 2 final things that I did to consider myself to be completed. When I put those runners on, they were of course attached to an 11 millimeter bolt that stuck up through the center. So what I did is I took an old piece of closed cell foam, just some rolled up old pad that I had, and I cut a full length strip and I put it down the center, and where you see the extra tape going across, that's where one of the actual bolts is. That's all taped down and had stuff sitting inside here so it kind of holds. The last thing I did is I noticed that these runners were a little bit loose because the last screw was right there. So I went ahead and I went in through the center and I went in and punched that through it in. So I'll also show you, here's how I decided to do my attachment point. This is some 7 millimeter cord. What I did is I attached this bungee in between, and that gives me just enough pull that the sled isn't jerking on me. Gives just enough shock absorption that the sled isn't jerking back on me. And so here's the final finish. The sled. It's a piece of some 6 mil cord. Here's my brake. This will be unclipped, roll it around, hook back up on the other side when I have 2 hands, and will act as my slow me down. Anyway, hope you found some tidbits that you like or didn't like, and hope it helps you possibly with the sled that you someday try and take up Denali. Have a good day, guys.